This is the car number that won.
That's true. All right.
Yep.
Welcome to Shifting Gears.
Bryce didn't do it.
I'm sorry.
How dare you? He's like, he's just in his own little world. All right.
Welcome to Shifting Gears.
All right. As you can see, we have Caleb on the phone.
That's right.
We tried to have him on video, but we're currently getting ready to get Snowmageddon here. Upwards of 15 inches of snow, which for very southwestern Missouri is not very common.
No, it's not.
We all gonna die.
Yeah. So we're about ready to get snowed in. So I don't know if that's the case or whatever, but we're having technical difficulties with video. But Caleb is still going to be able to call in, so we'll still be able to hear his voice. So that being said, Bryce, what do you think about the snow coming in?
I do not want it to come in. So.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. It's been a while since I had a good snow. So, Caleb, you have 2 inches of snow where you're from. How is it for you?
Not too bad. I'm ready for 60-degree weather, so it makes me a little mad
Yeah.
when I walk outside and the feel like is -4.
Mm-hmm.
So
Talking about precipitation, seems like the rain attended another race.
Mother Nature has won 3 out of the last 5 Daytona 500s. So I tell you what, it has rained and rained and rained. And I tell you what. All right. Yeah, so we had a visitor with us as my little cousin. He was taking a nap in the other room, and apparently we woke him up. But anyway, I tell you what, Caleb sent me a meme yesterday, and it says, if I had a nickel for every time Trump showed up to a 500, followed by a rain delay, and then a Roush car flipping, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Yep.
So that's funny, because he came in 2020, of course, and then it rained, and then Ryan Newman ended up almost biting the bullet there, and then, of course, then Ryan Priest flipped, so I don't know, it was a pretty good race, though. I really enjoyed it.
And weird thing is, Denny Hamlin won that year for the 2nd time in a row.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And William Byron.
There you go, so you can even add that.
Both the people that flipped were named Ryan.
That's true. But Ryan, it was a Ryan that flipped too. That's crazy. And they both had a 6 in their number. This is just getting weirder and weirder. So
I think we got something going on here.
But anyway,
I really wanted Corey LaJoy to win, but
me too. I had several people I was cheering for actually yesterday. Ross Chastain, Chase Elliott, of course. Then Justin Allgaier.
I was rooting for him the whole time.
Yeah.
That paint scheme, there was just something about it that stood out all weekend.
Yeah. Before we get any further, though,
Gentlemen, start your engines.
So, yes, and so, welcome to Shifting Gears, by the way. And so, what was I going to say?
I don't
Darn
remember.
it. I ruined my own train of thought.
About Corey LaJoy.
Oh, so I also was cheering for Corey LaJoy to win, too, because I think that's neat. I think Corey LaJoy has more talent than people give him credit for.
Yeah.
I think he's getting too much hate. And Caleb, I don't know, what do you think about that?
I agree. I saw him up there, and I was like, that would be awesome. For him to lose a ride and then win the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
It was funny.
That would be awesome.
I told Audrey, I was like, watch Corey LaJoy end up flipping. How funny would that be? Because he flipped twice last year, and he'd be the one that flipped. But then,
and if he flipped, Tyler Reddick would have won.
I know.
That's true.
So.
But anyway.
But also, one thing that didn't surprise me because I predicted it last week. Ty Dillon was up there towards the front, the beginning of the race, but towards the end
I think he's
started getting left and stuff. So.
I think he's going to do good in the restrict plate races this year. I don't know how good he's going to do at the other track, so we'll have to see. I keep saying restrict plate races. They haven't had a restrictor plate in a few years now, so it's just drafting tracks. Yeah. But still. So I think he'll do good, but who knows? Atlanta is technically a drafting track now.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he does next week. But Another person I was cheering for was
Jimmy Johnson.
yes. I had it in my mind. And I can't remember what I was going to say.
He was up there.
He finished his first. I think it was his first top 10 since he ended his last race in the 48. It was his first podium since that year too. Probably I can't remember if he had got a podium in that year or not, because that was a bad year for him also. Yeah. But it's been at least 5 years since he's finished on a podium, so that had to be pretty good for him. So
I saw him. He was third in line in the middle row, and I was like, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, his Legacy Motor Club Camrys were looking pretty good. I mean, because Eric Jones was up there. He was up there. John Hunter was up there at the last little bit.
I think they all finished in the top 12. I think John Hunter and Nemechek finished 12th. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, they were looking pretty good. Which, I don't know if we're going to talk about this, but Eric Jones and the controversial finish in the duels.
I was going to talk about that later.
But
yeah, might as well go ahead and talk about it since you brought it up then. So I will say this. I loved that they let it go green at the last lap there. I wish.
In the 500?
In the 500.
In the 500. I liked that.
I wish they would have done that for the duels.
I think so too.
They're
literally
like close
30
finish.
feet from it.
I know.
I don't know why they didn't.
They always say something about safety cars, and again, I will point out, and I will die on this hill. You tell me what safety car is rolling in that span of 0.5 seconds. Is 0.5 seconds really going to matter? Getting to the driver 0.5 seconds quicker? No. I guarantee you they didn't even start rolling until they crossed the finish line. So why throw it? They always say, well, it's to get people to slow down too. Well, they're 30 feet away from it. Wait, 0.5 seconds.
I saw something that was like caution. I saw something that was like they're throwing it so that more cars wouldn't get involved. And it was like half the field is already involved.
And so I will say this. I've always said, which me and Caleb, we talked about this before in a previous video, but I always said as soon as they get off turn 4 at Daytona and there's a wreck, don't throw the caution. So that was going into turn 3. So yeah, it may have been a little early not to throw the caution, but I liked it. I'd rather them not throw it than throw it. Now there's exceptions. If a car is flipping or there's an obvious hard hit or something like that, then throw the caution. It's understandable. Safety issue. Go from there. But, I mean, keep it green like you did and give a shot at a green flag finish. I think that's the only green flag finish we had this weekend. I think the trucks and Xfinity both finished under caution.
Which, again, the Parker Kligerman thing.
I know.
I was excited for Parker Kligerman, but I guess his truck was too low.
Yeah, they're going to appeal it, so we'll see. But he's got 2 wins taken away from him in the last few races.
Well, yeah, because he won that one.
What causes that? Like, how in the world did he pass before the race and not after?
I don't know. He said he's got a pretty good argument, so we'll see how the appeal goes. But how about Agent Cody Banks, Frankie Muniz himself, getting a top 10 in the Truck Series? That's pretty cool.
Yep.
And also NASCAR YouTuber Cletus McFarland.
Yeah. And
the ARCA race. I don't know if you watched the ARCA race at all.
I watched the highlights, but honestly, these are my top 3. Paint scheme of the weekend, William Byron. I mean, I love that car. I love that it's his primary for this year. I mean, just reminds you of Jeff Gordon out there.
I know.
I mean, it is awesome. I think all of Hendrick's cars this year, just their primaries look really good. Other than Chase Elliott, he should go back to this.
I know. The all blue. I mean, I get the blue looks pretty, but come on, it's not really that pretty when it's just one color.
Yeah. So, but I think all of even Bowman. I mean, Bowman's car looks really good for this year. So, second, I think the best fire suit goes to Justin Haley. I think that was
funny.
That was pretty awesome.
My brain couldn't wrap around that it was a fire suit. I kept just seeing him in a jeans and a shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did that, but it was impressive.
And then third, like you were saying, I think the interview of the weekend goes to Cletus McFarland. He's like, I zigged when I should have.
Real life Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
Yep. He zigged when he should have zagged.
Yeah. That's funny. But let's all talk about it because everybody's waiting to talk about it. Is the flip. Ryan Preece. I have never seen a car float like that as long as it did before going over. And so I thought it was cool. I thought it was very odd the way it happened. But we know with these cars how flat they are at the bottom. that's just subject to that. But here's the thing I will say, because you hear it all the time. Anytime somebody gets upside down, well, they need to figure out something to keep these cars down. No, they don't. Because here's the reason why. The only way to keep a car from flipping, and they'll still find a way to flip, because cars still flip at 50 miles an hour. But the only way to keep a car from flipping is to slow them down. If you slow the cars down enough, it's not going to be exciting. And then you're going to complain about the racing. So, you don't want to do that. Just leave them be. You can still work on safety issues. Like, obviously, he hit the car is sturdy enough. It probably hurt him. That's probably why he was so mad. Mm-hmm. It probably hurt his back. Those right on the flat part of the bottom and stuff like that.
And if you look at the video, because they showed the in-car camera.
Yeah.
And whenever it went up like that, he actually leaned forward. You're not supposed to do that. He kept holding the wheel, and it's like maybe if he would have accepted that he got hit and did the whole precaution where he sits back in his seat. But did you see that when he got hit or he tried to lean forward, try to get the car down?
Yeah.
I mean, if he would have maybe been a little bit more relaxed, I feel like he wouldn't have gotten.
The only thing I will say is as
much
when in the in-car camera, when he hit the roof upside down, right as it cut out, you see his body goes up a little bit. That tells me maybe his belts weren't very tight as they're probably really tight, to be honest, but not as tight as they probably should be, because you shouldn't have that much. If you go back to look at Corey LaJoie's flip and his in-car camera in Michigan, it shouldn't have that much. You can't even hardly tell that he's on the belts, but he shouldn't have that much lift, which tells me that's probably why he got so hurt. You just tighten those belts a little bit. But I don't know. I thought it was really cool. We were watching it. We let the kids stay up to watch the end of the race. Zachariah, he kept telling me every single time there was a replay. It wasn't even done yet. He's like, can we watch another replay of it? I'm like, I'm not in control, buddy. Like, you just have to wait. But anyway, so I thought that was cool. Caleb, what did you think? Did you watch it live? What was your reaction?
Yeah, I did watch it live. I was kind of in shock because I thought I was going to sit back down. I didn't think the car was actually going to flip over. And then it did. I'm like, that's crazy. Because I've never seen a car do a wheelie for 10 seconds before it flips. Yeah. I'm like, what in the world? But, no, I thought it was weird. I liked the announcers. I think it was Clint Boyer or somebody said it. He said that they're getting too close to somebody not walking away from it.
It was Ryan Priest that said it, yeah.
But Clint Boyer said, well, you can't prevent that.
I know.
You can't do anything to prevent that flip from happening again. There's nothing you can do to that car to make that
it's funny because Mike Joy kept being like, well, the roof flaps never deployed. And I'm like, okay, they're not designed to deploy when you're going forward. That doesn't make any sense.
That's what Clint Boyer said, too.
And so, but it's funny because it's ironic because when you watch it, it floated and floated and floated. And when it finally got sideways enough where the roof flaps started to come up, that's, I think, what pushed the car over. Because it's just at a weird angle. The roof flaps deployed, that wind and air caught that roof flap, and it's almost like it just pushed it over on its roof real quick. It's like it almost looked like it was going to start to sit down, and then as soon as the roof flap deployed, that's when it just flipped right over. And so I think it's ironic if that's the case of how it went over. Yeah. But it was kind of, I just thought it was kind of ironic and funny how that happened. But
I just think it was weird just to see it. I mean, it wasn't violent, but he did get hit by Bell really hard. I mean, it caused liftoff.
Yeah,
but
here's what I think is funny and weird. A couple things. One, he said it hurt worse than Daytona in 23 when he flipped that 11 times. Yeah, and the reason being is because it's not on grass. Like I said this when they were removing all the grass. I'm like, okay, that's fine, but you're not going to prevent a flip. It's going to happen, and now it's going to hurt worse because there's nothing to absorb it. Those grass may catch it and flip it more and make it more violent rolls, but it's softer landings because you're in the dirt and the grass. Well, here it's asphalt. It's right on there. These roofs are built so sturdy because they don't want them caving in because of the other wrecks. So it's going to hurt. It's going to go right through you. And that's how it is. And so, I mean, it is what it is. But then also, one thing, I say I'll end with this for the video and we'll continue for the podcast. I'll end with this. But Go and look at an IndyCar wreck. They ramp each other's wheels all the time and then slide up. Well, this car's built exactly like an IndyCar, and the flat bottom like that.
Yeah.
And it reacts the same way. Like even at Iowa, I think it was last year in the IndyCar, he flipped and the car goes like this and like floats kind of like what Ryan Preece was, and then starts to tumble. And that's what happened. Like that's just an IndyCar flip is all it is. I mean, so you see him in IndyCar, but you don't see him in bless you. You don't see him in NASCAR at all. And so
Well, I've seen it to where like I don't know if it's like it's not IndyCar, but it's like those enduro cars or whatever. Mm-hmm. When they're on like tracks like Watkins Glen and stuff, and they go over the like hills. Mm-hmm. I've seen it to where whenever
just take off.
Yeah, whenever they're going too fast, they just take off. Mm-hmm. And I mean, like you said, if you're going fast, you're going to flip. Mm-hmm. So why you don't need to fix anything.
Yep.
You know, it's inevitably going to happen.
All right. Hold that thought real quick, Caleb. We'll go ahead and end the video because we're a little over time, and then we'll continue on the podcast just a second. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to listen to more of the conversation, go to the podcast on Spotify, Shifting Gear, same as YouTube, and we will see you next week after Atlanta.
Peace.